So we registered, or we certified B Corp in February 22. So B Corporation is an environmental, social governance type certification. And it means that you're robustly, and it is definitely granular, like it's tough, and the certification process is hard. But it means that you're prioritizing equally people, planet, and profit. And that has given us a really lovely structure of growth, but it means that our growth has to be considered. So we wouldn't, for example, bring a lot of people into a single area around over-tourism. And that is starting to become an issue for us because we're in a national park, and over-tourism, because we're the smallest national park closest to London, it's definitely becoming an issue. So that's one of the issues that we have to be careful about. I think the biggest ones are the compliance and regulation. As far as I understand, it's coming in hard. It will reach medium size. It's already reached big business, which is why you get cheaper loans, cheaper finance, cheaper insurance if you are showing that you have an ESG profile of a certain level. Where you don't, you're going to be paying a premium. I'll give you a really good example. So a friend of mine's husband works for a company that supply the Ministry of Defence. They are, because they have a really good ESG rating, they are allowed 10% premium on their prices to compete for MOD contracts. 10%! Oh my God! That is really profound business sense. It's not just an add-on. It is absolutely critical. So you're getting this push down from the top. If you want private equity money, you need cheaper finance. Why would you not do something like this? Why would you not address your ESG? And a lot of the stuff that people are doing is not rocket science. Once you get a carbon action plan, sounds horrific, really isn't that bad. You can outsource this stuff for not a lot of money, and you can even do it yourself for not a lot of money. There are loads of free tools out there. It's not an excuse to say it's not doable anymore. Yeah, so this is a really, really great question because, and I love living in the future in my head. And I love kind of predicting how things might work out from a set of systemic kind of factors. I think in 5 years' time, the businesses that haven't taken this seriously will be out of business because their compliance will have got to them by that stage, and it will have priced them out of the business. And either they will be paying fines because they haven't done some of the things that they needed to do, or they will have been shamed out of business by the guests who have left them horrific reviews, and they just can't come back from that. So the top-down, there's a million other things that I could give you examples of. For example, communities. Why, as a community, would you allow a new hotel or a very profit-orientated tourism business to basically rape and pillage the money out of your community if they are not going to put the money back in? And you will eventually, when people, give some context to this, in the UK, about 75% of people have eco-anxiety, and those are UK census stats from 22, or quite recently, and 83% of children. So as you get people becoming more scared because the climate is becoming crazy, they're getting micro crazy weather patterns in Devon last week. When my mom lived, there was 1 month's worth of rainfall in 1 hour. Now that village is set up for flooding already, but normally it would be in 4 hours, or it would be in, 2 days. And if that keeps happening, the insurance companies won't pay out. You know, there are parts of the world already that aren't insurable, quite seriously aren't insurable, because they haven't shown that they're taking corporate risk processes to try and protect themselves. So the top down, the corporate and the corporate services industries are really pushing this stuff. And so this is where you're going to have really significant decision-making processes that people are just assuming that they're going to buy insurance for the rest of their lives for their holiday cottage. You've got to be joking. That's not going to be the future in 5 years' time. My key takeaways would be the regulation and compliance from Ufi Ibrahim. That was fascinating, and I work in this industry, and I hadn't realized how hard that was coming. A 2026 date on that is pretty amazing in a good way. I had a really interesting conversation with Raoul at Love It Parks. Love It Parks are another B Corp, and we're a member of the Travel by B Corp Collective, which is based here in the UK. It's about 22 companies, all B Corps. And he was talking about expanding his business into other areas of long-term rentals, but with a very strong social approach to housing, and that was interesting. So the other major issue that I've spoken to a couple of people about is what I call the death valley of self-check-in, right? Okay, the death, and it's serious, I seriously mean it, because when you are a host and you like people, and you are doing this because you like people and you're sharing your home, right? You want to have some kind of personal experience with your guests. Often it's the nicest thing that you can do, which is why Airbnb works, right? It's their biggest USP that they never talk about, and that's what it is. They reduce the death valley of self-check-in, okay? Even though they all do check-ins, you immediately have that conversation with the host. A lot of the businesses that I see in these things are trying to do this with tech. And I really see over the next 5 years that there will be a coming back together again. And the reason for that is, one of the reasons will be sustainability. Reducing energy in houses and that behavior management of people requires values alignment of the host to the guest. And where you don't get that, because you get this kind of distancing, that issue in tourism and all of the issues that it encompasses are a really big challenge that a few people have spoken about, but the fact that it's not being spoken about really concerns me.